So are we up? Are we up? Are we up? Seems we are. Good morning, good morning. Back in the party room today. Not for a party. Not for that kind of party anyway. Packing, print packing. It's part of our preparation for moving downstairs into the first floor of this shop. We've vastly increased our space available for prints. So we need to get a bunch more stuff ready. So recently we've been haunting the dealer auctions and Yahoo auctions here in Japan. And the two of our employees who have a license have been looking for prints over in the what they call the Koshokai, the Association of Used Book Dealers and stuff like that. And we've been finding all the prints we possibly can, ready to stock up our stuff. Hits the live button and blows his nose, whatever. Sorry. Okay, there's not a whole lot of room on this desk here, but let's try and get this. I'm not quite sure why I end up doing this job, but we're really, really short-staffed, and it's basically everybody in this place ends up doing all the different jobs, all mixed up together. So. What's the question here? Would you mind showing the print you have in front of you for the camera? Well, you can't see it. Let's have a look. What we've got here. This camera? Which camera? Clear? Mostly what I'm going to be working with today, the prints I've got here, some of them are landscapes and some of them are the genre known as bijinga, beauties. What they are, we'll look at them maybe one by one as I get going through them. What they are, they're 1960s, 1970s era reproductions. This is a Hiroshige design, but there's no way it's an original Hiroshige design from 1868 or whatever. This is a reproduction made in the 1960s. This one I think is by the Adachi company. It shows all the signs, nice and neat and clear. And there were some really nice prints made. I know there was a boom in ukiyo-e reproductions in the 1960s. It was when the Olympics first came to Tokyo. That was 1964. And there was a staggering demand for ukiyo-e prints, ukiyo-e reproductions. This is, production is level 5, absolutely condition is level 5. We don't get 5 very often. It's post-war. Now how am I going to do this? I've got packages for each one. How to get it sealed in. You tell I'm not the normal person doing this job. There we go, one more for the shop. It's too bad we can't put all these online, but because it's only one of each one, it's really difficult to get it organized. Scan it, make a web page, carefully describe all the problems with it. It's difficult to get the flea market stuff onto the website. Have we discussed our plans for the second floor? Now we're moving down. I don't know, yes or no. I don't know. We've talked about it a bit. There's short-term plans and there's long-term plans. Those of you who have read the Mokuhankan at 20XX know that we have a lot of plans. We would like to have a sort of semi-museum here. We are absolutely going to do a tool business. And those things will be here on the second floor. But in the short term, we don't have the resources to undertake those projects. So in the short term, the second floor is going to be office space, space for getting these flea market prints ready, and storage, things like that. We just don't have the capability to start our museum project just yet. Some of these Adachi prints from the 60s are made so nicely, you know. The gradations are just so more beautiful than the ones the guys do nowadays. Beautiful, perfect gradation. Unfortunately, this one's got some foxing, some tiny foxing marks, so the price will really be dropped a lot. The paper's gorgeous too. We just can't get paper like this anymore. You're going to hear me say that 100 times today. Beautiful. I'm thinking sometimes, like, how can I sell these things? Why don't I keep them for myself? And we have our own collection here. I have my own collection, and I've already got this same Adachi set myself in a beautifully, perfectly preserved collection. So this one gets a 5+ for production, 5+, but unfortunately, because of the foxing, it's going to go down to 3 for preservation. We should do this like a commercial, right? Bid now, bid now. No thanks. This is the same set. I know there's another question there too. I know these prints in the 1960s and so were usually made in sets. The ones we're looking at here, it's the set called, in Japanese it's omihake. How would you say that in English? 8 prints, all designed by Hiroshige, about Lake Biwa. It's a theme, it's a series. The theme was Lake Biwa. But why are we breaking up the set? And we don't do that. When we get full sets, beautiful sets, when we buy them on auction, we don't break them up, of course. We keep them for our collection. But what usually happens, it hugely, very common thing happens. The guy who bought this set back in the 1960s, 65 or 1970, somewhere around there, he had a set of prints, 8 prints in a box. They comes in sort of display cases. And these people always, they then bought a frame, and they took one of the prints out of the set and put it in the frame. and put it in the wall. And their idea was that they would use an open back frame, and for a while you'd put one print up and then you'd change it out. You'd take the set off the shelf, change the print in the frame, put it back up, and you'd rotate your prints. Very few Japanese people want the same picture hanging on the wall all day, every day for year after year after year. You rotate it, ideally by season. So that was the theory, and maybe when the guy bought the set, maybe that's what he actually did for a while. For 1 year, for 5 years, for 10 years, whatever. Remember, this was back in the 1960s. The guy gets older, he gets into his 50s, his 60s, his 70s, and you know what happens. The frame sits there up on the wall, the set sits there on the shelf, and eventually things all get separated. Maybe the guy dies, passes away, people move, whatever. So you got a frame on a wall somewhere, or 2 frames. They go out to antique shops, and there's a box set with 1 or 2 or 3 prints missing. And these sets come to us all the time, and it's really rare for us to find a full set because they've always had prints taken out of them for framing. This one, again, this is 5. The whole set is beautifully, beautifully made. Way better than craftsmen today can make it. We can't touch this stuff. It's so beautifully made. There's no way. I don't have this skill. None of our printers working here have this skill. Basically, nobody left now has this skill. It's also combined with perfect paper, you know. But there's a couple of small dots. I don't know if that's foxing or... Well, that's okay. Look at that gradation. So nice. Production 5+. Is there any standardized system to grade prints? I don't know much about that. I know the dealers who do this professionally, they're sort of an ukiyo-e dealers association. This is the people working at the Sotheby's level, and not with reproductions like this, but who work at the top level. They do have a grading system. I don't even know what it is. There's numbers and symbols and letters and stuff that they use. That's out of my pay grade. What we do here at our place is we've got each of the tags in the flea market has this sort of 5-star thing for the production and for the condition. And this is just our own in-house way. Now, it's a bit silly because 1 and 2, I don't have anything in the shop with a 1 or 2. You know, if it's the production is 1 out of 5, why do we have it? And we don't. We cull those and toss them out. So we only really use 3, 4, and 5 here. And it's also, how do you say this? I don't know. Is that level 1 to 5 based on all the prints that have ever been made in history? This is level 5. No, I grade them within their own style. Like I'm using 3, 4, 5 here based on Showa reproductions, 3, 4, 5. This print I call a level 5 here, but it's maybe not as good as the top level prints that were made back in the Meiji era. But we're not grading them in competition with each other. Check, 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 height. Just the idea is just to try and help the people in the shop get a bit of a sense of what we're looking at, that's all. So there we go. There's 3 prints now then from the famous series, Views of Lake Biwa by Hiroshige. They'll go in the shop when we open downstairs. When, I don't know. Okay, moving along. Now. Are some of these prints less common than others? Well, there's nothing we're looking at here today that is rare in the sense of, rare and expensive. These Showa prints were made in really, really huge quantities. There was teams of craftsmen working day and night. There was an ukiyo-e boom. None of this stuff is rare. If there's some specific item that we like, and you miss it, it doesn't matter. It'll come back. More copies will be available. I have no idea on the count of thousands and thousands of print sets that were made back in that era, 60s and 70s. Everybody who came to Japan bought ukiyo-e prints, everybody. And people in Japan, like school teachers or doctors or stuff like that, as part of their normal culture, who they felt they should be, they would have ukiyo-e print sets in their living room. Questions. How much are these going to be? Generally, the stuff I'm doing today is going to be in the 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 yen range once we get it in the shop. I haven't priced these yet. Now that the packaging is done and I've graded it, I go back to my computer, find out what each one cost us, because sometimes we get really good bids, we have to bid higher. So based on what it costs us, yeah, this one is a 5 and a 5. It's interesting too. Look, there's different aspects to this. The background is done less than perfectly. You can see some barren marks. Can you perhaps see those? There's a few slight scratches and barren marks in the background. But the hair, it's absolutely fantastic. I don't know if we can get close enough without focusing. The hair is carved absolutely beautifully. Nobody around who can do this anymore. Nobody. This is a 5 plus and a 5. Someone's asking, is this one of mine? No, what I'm doing today, I didn't make any of these prints we're dealing with today here. These are all prints that we got from the used business. These are all, quote, used prints from the 1960s, I think. As far as I can tell, 60s. It might be something in the early 70s. We go to the book dealers associations. We watch auctions carefully. We ourselves can't possibly make enough prints ourselves to cover the demand. Not even close. But now that we're opening a larger shop downstairs, it's a huge problem for us to have enough stuff. Our rent has increased, our staff costs are increased, but we can't suddenly increase our production. It's impossible. Questions. Look at this. I should be able to answer these because I'm not printing today. How long does a 5-star print stay in your store? I have no idea. I know. All these different prints, some people would look at this and wouldn't think twice. They don't find it attractive. Somebody finds it really attractive. They're all different. Each design and each print has a, what's the word? In Japanese, there's the proverb. It's called Junin Toiro. 10 people, 10 colors. And the idea being that everybody has a different preference for things. So we have no idea. In the beginning, when we opened the shop, we had a print that we thought, man, nobody's going to want this. Who would want this thing? And yeah, bang, somebody likes it. Somebody says, oh my God, look at this. Okay, now this is interesting. This is fun. I got an email. This is fun. I got an email a week or so ago from a person who had been communicating with us and writing back and forth to us. And he'd been watching my YouTube videos. And among those videos, he had watched, of that one about the remembrance of a carver. I visited Ito-san, the carver. And that's a single YouTube video that's got, 600,000 viewers for us now, bit by bit by bit. I made it, put up there on YouTube, people have been watching it. And the email came from this guy, said he was in an American museum somewhere that had some ukiyo-e prints and different kabuki prints on display, including a bunch of 20th century prints. And among those, actually, I've got the email right here. Let me have a look. What was it? Here it is. So I'll just read a bit of this. I live in Minneapolis, and my wife and I were visiting the Minneapolis Institute of Art, which is currently showcasing an amazing collection. There was a section devoted to Japan, and I kept my eye open for anything related to ukiyo-e. Sure enough, there was a small collection of prints, 5 of which were particularly beautiful. But as I read the information cards for each one, I was amazed to see that the 5 most beautiful prints had come from woodblocks carved by Ito Susumu. This is the guy who I visited, who I made my YouTube video on. Back to the letter. I started to tear up. I was so happy to be in such close proximity to some of his work. And then he took a couple of pictures in the museum there and sent them to me. And this is really interesting. I never thought about something like this. I did that video about Ito-san in a sort of a basically selfish way. I wasn't trying to do it to promote or save his name or do anything. I was just telling a story about what happened to me. But there it is. There's thousands of people now, hundreds of thousands of people around the world who know his name. Just this, basically a nameless ukiyo-e carver of the 20th century. But there's thousands of people who now know his name. And then here we are. I'm getting this stuff. I got this from an auction. We've got 2 copies of this, blah, 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 blah. Who's the craftsman who made it? The printer is Irie-san, and the carver is Ito Susumu. And there are going to be more today. So here they are coming up. This is a print, a reproduction print. And it was carved by Ito Susumu, the guy who helped me so much and who I made that YouTube video over. It's a Toyokuni print from the 1800s. Just a simple reproduction. And I'm thinking now that what I should do maybe is there's obviously perhaps now, I hadn't considered this at all, but there's maybe actually going to be demand for this sort of thing, Ito-san's work, because I've sort of semi-made him a little bit famous. So I think what I'm going to do over the next few weeks and months after reading this email is, as we're processing these prints for the flea market, when I see work by Ito Susumu, I think I'll keep maybe 1 of each in our own collection. And then when we do have our little Mokuhankan library/gallery/museum, we will have an exhibition one day of stuff carved by Ito-san. And we've got his TV block here still. Remember the one I did in that video? Hang on a sec. It's right here in the next bin here. And you can see I'm going to get horribly sidetracked here. If you've seen the video, the Remembering a Carver video, I put Ito-san's TV block in it. And here it is. And like, as I said before, this isn't mine. They just left it here for a while, and it was going to go back to them. But she hasn't actually come back to collect it and pick it up. So it's still sitting here. I'm just trying to remember, Dave, this is not yours. This is not yours. This is not yours. This belongs to Ito-san's daughter. And if I say it enough, I'm going to try and maybe I'll believe it or whatever. And this is the same Ito-san block. So what a cool little exhibition that would make. Maybe, now that I think about it, maybe that should be the first little exhibition in the Mokuhankan little gallery/museum. Get the family to come. The printing varies, one by one. These guys were in a hurry. They blew these things out as fast as they could. These are both okay. If you sat there looking at them, you're probably not going to notice any differences, but there's a few little touches. So I think I'm going to keep one of these, and we're going to keep one of each of the different prints that are carved by Ito-san, and we'll put them in a little exhibition one day. That will be a ton of fun. Look at this, questions, comments, questions, comments. Why am I sitting in a box? We don't have real office space yet here. We just haven't built ourselves that sort of thing. We need a proper desk and a setup and lights and everything for doing this flea market stuff. But we're in such growing pains, there's no space for these sort of things. It's on our to-do list. When we go downstairs and open the downstairs setup, then we'll build a little office space, back room of the second floor where my workbench is right now. So this work will be done at a proper desk, with a chair and all that kind of, all those modern ideas. How does the paper differ from the current paper? Well, it looks great. All these, the prints I just showed you just now, those landscapes, they have wide areas of sky that's unprinted, so you can see the paper, the blank paper. And this is all printed. It's hard to see the actual surface of the paper. But those landscapes that have wide open areas of sky, the paper just looks so beautiful. It's clean and clear. There's no chitty, no garbage inside it. It looks so soft and printable. There we go. Ito-san still lives. Who's next? What's next? 288. This is an Utamaro reproduction. Who carved this one? I can't tell from looking at it. There's no way. Kudo-san. This is not Ito-san's carving. Kajikawa printed it. It's funny, these guys I met, nearly all these guys, they're all dead now. I forgot to put this inside. These guys are all gone, The men who were at their peak in the 60s, there's no way, they're all gone now, But I met most of them when I first came here in the 80s. How many prints do I have for packing today? I have no idea. We've got literally hundreds. There's no way. I'm trying to catch up. I'm doing bit by bit by bit. This is ongoing work that all the staff members are doing. I'm going to do what I can this morning. Then later on today, Teiko-san gets here. She'll do a batch. This is the kind of work we all do when we're not, full up of doing something else. This is ongoing background work for us all. Some of these prints you saw, I did it on the stream a while ago, Remember, I was trying to identify some of these prints. People on the stream were helping me. We were looking up on the internet to see who these were. These are those same prints. They're coming around again today. With the amount of reproductions and copies, is it hard to tell which originals? No, it's really, really easy. I know. We're talking about, this is a Nutomaru print. So this is made in 1960 or 65, somewhere around there. The original that it was based on would date to, I think, the 1790s. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to go and look up the original. Between 1790 and say 1805, somewhere around there would have been the original of this. So that original is now 1790, 1890, 1990. It would be 230 years old. And there's no way, there's no question about it. The 230-year-old print and the 50-year-old print are night and day difference, of course, absolutely. There's no question at all about being able to tell which one is which. The paper is nice and the paper does survive, but after 230 years, believe me, the paper is very different. It's toned and it's soft and it's completely different. And the pigments have faded, of course. These are bright, sharp, clear still. The paper is crispy. The sizing is still strong. There's no question of fakery here of, what's real and what's not real. Now, which one have we got here? This is Osome of the Oil Shop. Shanghai. Make sure I don't get my labels mixed up here. Comments. Oh boy. Sorry. How many prints do I have for packing today? Too many. That's already good enough. The garbage men outside. What's the question? Are you enjoying not having sounds coming through the emails? I'm trying to go cold turkey on it. It was so much fun having those sounds. But honestly speaking, I shouldn't allow myself to get distracted by that sort of stuff. This one's not Ito-san. This is again Kudo-san. I never got to know that guy. I met him a few times, but never got to know. What's his questions? What's the worst thing that ever happened to me and the best thing ever? I don't know. I don't think in terms like that. There's been mistakes and accidents in the work. I've had to recarve blocks and things like that. It's mostly just work, it just goes on day by day, steady, steady, steady. It's not something that's emotional and that has very many highs and lows. Print making, for me, making prints is it's what I do. It's my job. And if exciting things happen, it's sort of an indication that things are going wrong. So we don't really think in those terms. So opening the new shop here in Asakusa was a very special event for us. Finishing my 100 poets was a special event. There's various things. You're talking about Will. I still haven't heard from the guy. I just still don't know what happened. I was chatting with Jed about that this morning. Jed was now we're Skyping about the Will thing, and I don't know. I just don't know what to say. I said something wrong, or I upset him, or he got upset with me, or something else went on. I don't know. Oh, backwards, you idiot. Ah. Got my brain turned off. There's another aspect to these, putting these prints in our shop, where the people who come to our shop are whatever, it's 90x%, 95% or something, people from overseas, foreigners. So all these prints that were made here in Japan, for the most part for the domestic market, are now going to fly overseas. So it's mixed feelings, you know, mixed feelings. We have the situation where the Japanese prints of the old era, the old Tomatoes, original prints and whatever, nearly all the last remaining good copies now are in overseas collections. Because the Japanese basically, I can't say threw them away, that's the wrong expression to use, but the Japanese didn't care about them. So they let them go. And the same thing is happening now. You know, it's interesting to wonder. The Japanese themselves are not interested in these prints anymore, so foreigners are collecting them and taking them overseas. And is it going to be the case 100 years from now or 200 years from now that these Showa era prints, which are, you know, nobody can make them anymore. Will these Showa era prints have the same kind of cachet and value that the old Edo era prints have now? I have no idea, you know. I don't want to sit here and sell this. Buy this now because it's going to be worth thousands of dollars in the future. We don't play that game. But absolutely, I'm curious about it. Absolutely. Who carved this one? This is Kudo-san, printed by Noguchi-san. I met him. He wasn't quite so friendly, but a nice guy. They had real dosa trouble, sizing trouble on this one. You can see the printer must have had a real difficult time. The paper is not so sized. It's sized with the glue is a bit too much glue, or maybe too much alum, I don't know. And the pigment didn't want to go inside the paper. He's done a good job. He's come up with it. It's all right. If we sort of didn't tell you, you wouldn't notice. The print looks good. But you can see the dots in each part of the color. Yeah, the other copy is the same. That whole batch of paper must have been not so good. Chat's going on here. What? What's this? I'm a physicist starting carving and printing. Should look for a professional. No. Just dig in. There's tons of information on the internet everywhere now. The fan page that's related to this Twitch stream you're watching right now is full of dozens of people who are enjoying themselves, digging in, carving and printing. Can somebody post the link to the fan page here for this gentleman to have a look at? Yeah, thank you. Look at this. It's so cool. Just ask and it shall be done. The other aspect I mentioned about sending these prints overseas, there's one really important aspect of that. The people who pick these prints up and they take them out of here and they take them back to their home in America or Germany or England or whatever, they are really going to take care of them. These prints here are not being taken care of at all. Those sets that I mentioned, people buy these sets, they put them on the bookshelf and just leave them. So many times. We get an auction, we get the set here, we open it up, and we have to just basically toss the stuff. Because so many of the prints are moldy, they're foxed. Japan is a damp country for much of the year, and if you don't take care of stuff, it really, really gets moldy. So I have no hesitation whatsoever. These prints are going to be much more carefully preserved in their new environment than they have been here in Japan. And this is absolutely true. This is not just blah, blah, blah BS. That must be... It is, the man himself. Come on in, say hello. You're early today. Trying different train schedules?
Yeah. Trying good stuff.
Before we started the stream today, I went to one of those internet speed test things. I did a speed test. It's beyond belief. Upload speeds were like, I forget what was the number, 500 megabits. It was incredible. Download was about 190 something.
But upload's
upload
crazy.
was 500, five times that, 500 something.
That's crazy.
I posted the link to the chat at the beginning of the, in fact, I think it's still here. I'll post this again. Some of you just come along. Before I started the stream, because I'm in the party room, and we had trouble with the stream the other day in the party room. Get back where people can see. Okay. Because we had trouble in the party room, I did a test this morning, and here is the results.
Why is it giving us trouble?
Today it's not. I'm getting 0 drop frames. I've got nothing. It's green, green, green. Nobody has complained.
And I'm in here.
Well, we'll see where it goes from now. But we're getting insane speeds, and yet that stream, the party stream, whatever, half the data didn't get up there, you know.
So wow.
Look, so that's crazy. Oh my God, 560 MPS up.
It's
nuts. Insane. People overseas can just dream of stuff like this. Japan, Korea, what are the other places? Singapore, these tight countries with high population, you know.
Yeah.
Do a new test with Cameron and you. I don't want to do a new test because we're streaming. You know, I don't want to do that test while I'm streaming. We're okay with it. His upload is 10 and I've got 560. So eat your heart out, you know.
Sorry, guys.
Actually, but also, you know why it's part of this. The government, at some point, whenever it was, whatever, 20 years ago, said, okay, we're going to take care of this. And they stepped in and helped build the infrastructure. They told NTT, here's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, they helped finance it, everything like this, you know.
Laid the groundwork.
You guys who live in a country where the government doesn't do stuff, you know, where the government says, nope, it's free libertarianism, whatever, that's what you get. And it's a nice theory that companies will compete with each other and build the best infrastructure. But infrastructure doesn't work like competition for product A and product B. This is infrastructure. It's got to be built nationally.
So you're just packing...
just packing prints. We're getting behind. They're just stacking up everywhere. So all of us, just whenever we've got an extra few minutes, we do some print packing, you know. So because when we open downstairs, we got all those new browser booths, and we have to fill them. So the other thing was interesting. I know I'm finding some in this. Did you see that email about Ito-san?
I think someone said he went to a museum.
Yeah, in Minneapolis, I think it was. I just read the email on the stream, and there's 5 kabuki prints there, and they were carved in the 60s, I guess, 60s by Ito-san.
Wow!
And the guy says in the email, he says, I teared up and whatever, and I'm like, it's okay. So there's a thing here. We've actually made Ito-san famous.
Yeah.
A little bit. I hadn't really thought about that. We've got the block here still, the TV block. Yeah. We're going to have this little museum room.
Yeah.
The first exhibition has got to be Ito-san. And we've got them. So I'm keeping them. I'm keeping one of each out of the ones we've got here that are carved by Ito-san.
Are any of these out right now?
Yeah. This one right there. Carved by Ito-san.
There it is. Yes, it is.
We've got lots. I've got maybe altogether, I've got maybe 10, 15 or so, maybe more. I'm not quite sure.
That's so cool.
Someone's asking here, because of this speed, should we up the bit rate or up the resolution to enable better viewing quality? That sounds like a nice thing in theory, but given that we've had so much trouble, you know, yesterday, if you didn't see yesterday's stream, half the video didn't make it. You know, it was like watching a slideshow, you know. So I'm really not sure what to happen. And I think the connection is okay at our end, but whether Twitch has the catch server, the server where we're aiming to, is it in Japan? Maybe it's not in Japan. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta keep going here. So
good idea here. Let you pack things. Head upstairs, although I looked at the email. It doesn't look like near as many as we had.
No, it's
yesterday.
quiet. It's really quiet time.
Quiet
It's so
today,
absolutely quiet time. Which means it's the time to catch up on
Catch
all
up
that
on all
back
the
stuff
projects.
before the typhoon really hits.
Yes. Speaking
Absolutely.
of typhoon, last night, did you have a bad storm in here?
I don't have any memory of it. Nothing.
Oh wow! Oh, woke up so many times.
Really? What? Windy, you mean?
Wind and loud, heavy rain. Didn't hear thunder.
Well,
but
it's March. That's typical, you know.
Yeah.
I think compared to pretty much anywhere else in the world right now, we're doing really well. Europe is getting pasted, and Northeast America and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to complain at all.
No, but it was just big. Heavy rain. Woke up. You're right. There are pins just piling up everywhere.
They are literally, and there's two more stacks. That you've seen the checks going out. There's two more stacks coming today. And I lost at an auction last night. I lost one, and I was really pissed off about this last night.
No.
The Adachi set. I just did some Adachi prints right now. The beautiful landscapes. They were so good at doing landscape prints back in the 1960s. And a set of this came up last night.
Oh.
And it's the 8 Waterfalls series by Hokusai, and they are so popular in
I
the
saw
shop.
you looking at that before I left yesterday.
Yes. And the problem is, there's an inherent problem with buying these prints and selling them in our shop. If we want to sell something at a fair price, then I've got to buy it at less than fair price. You know, I'm not. That's not something evil to say.
No,
to sell it at a fair price, I have to be able to buy it less, and I'm competing in the auctions with people who are buying it for themselves.
So they're willing to pay a lot
So they're willing
more.
to pay what it's worth. But I can't pay what it's worth. So it's really frustrating last night, that set of 8. Oh my God, I want this in the shop, but. And I'm thinking, but if I buy it at that price, I have to price it. I have to mark it up too much, and it's not a fair price anymore. So then I'm, mood switches. Okay, Dave, you're not buying it for the shop now, you're buying it for your own collection. Wait a minute, we've got to watch our expenses here. Now I can't throw money around like that. So I just, in the end, I'd had to just shut the laptop. Just forget about it. Had to let it go. I opened up this morning, and where I was willing to pay about $37,000, it went for over $80,000.
Whoa!
Because must have been a couple of guys chasing it.
Who really wanted
Who really wanted it, and I wanted it too, but
not for 80,000.
No.
How many were in there?
It was the 8 Waterfalls, plus it was 15 general
so
landscapes. So,
a little more than 20 prints.
it's 50, 23 prints, So the guy, I guess, whatever, I don't know, it's okay.
It's okay.
I mean,
the guy selling it, I'm sure, is happy.
If he's, this is the seller, I guess, so it just went crazy, so. But the guy buying it, whether it's for his own collection, they're not making any more of these things. I mean, that sounds a bit silly, because we're making prints, but we're not making any more at that quality. The paper doesn't exist, the craftsmen don't exist. So it's a finite resource. It's the same story again and again and again. I was just chatting to these people about it. Probably 100 years from now, those things will be totally unavailable, and they are Showa reproduction prints, 1960s top quality. Will be one of those things. Oh my God, why didn't you get them while you could get them? But there's just a limited resource. No. Sorry guys, I'm ignoring you guys a little bit. Excuse me. Here. Weather, Trying to keep up track with this. Who's the carver on this one? This is Koike-san. I didn't know him. I met him once or twice at meetings, but didn't know him at all. So. Nice carving, though. Hontoni nice carving. Today's stream, Dave gossips about dead carvers. I shouldn't be, I'm not sure what image people have of me, these guys who were around in this era, the 60s, 70s, 80s, I was not really buddies with them. I shouldn't leave the impression that I was part of that group and that I'm in with all that crowd and stuff like that. When I came here in 1980 first, then again in 83, then I moved here in 86. And I didn't meet any of those craftsmen face to face until 1989. We've talked about this story before many times. It was 1989 when I first met a bunch of these guys. And by then I had started to make my poet series. I was doing work which was it was amateurish, but respectable. That's a good word, respectable amateur level. And those guys in the Craftsmen's Association, they saw this and they invited me to join their association, but with a caveat. The association they had, it's called a kumai, which actually is the word here in Japan that matches the word for union. So it was kind of a group of a group where the workers could get together, and it was quite a lot of it was for the point of sharing work, or distributing work among themselves. And when they asked me to join, or when they let me join, they made it very clear, you're not going to get into the work here. You're welcome to come to the meetings and drink a bit of osake and talk to us, but please understand, it's not for work. And that suited me fine because I had my own project. I was making the poet series. I didn't need or didn't want to think about being involved with the work they were doing. I just wanted to meet guys, watch carvers, watch printers, chat with them, drink the Kool-Aid, just learn what I could. So they let me in the association in 1989. And I guess I'm still technically a member, although I don't actually do anything with them anymore these days. We are busy ourselves. But in those years, and it was from 1989 all the way through the 1990s, that I attended all the meetings 3 or 4 times a year. We'd go out drinking together. I'd go to the meetings, do this and that. And I got to know a bunch of these guys. I almost never had a chance to see them in their workrooms. Those of you who saw the Ito-san video know when I asked these people, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. Endo-san carved this one. So not too many from Ito-san coming up here. Anyway. So I don't leave the wrong impression as though I was, a real member of the team and part of this crowd and stuff. It's not true. I was an outsider. Still am an outsider. And if I had known then what I know now, that the whole thing was disappearing day by day, collapsing and disappearing, and no apprentices and no tools and no anything. If I had known then, I would have been more careful about documenting stuff and videoing and, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't. I just didn't know. So all I've got left now really are just scraps of stories and bits and pieces. And I guess perhaps I'm one of the only people left now who sort of knows a bit of the connection behind these people and what they were doing, you know. So I really should do more David's Choice videos these days and pick up some of these prints and at least spill the beans on at least just talk about what I do know about these men. Share some of the photographs I've got of them and stuff like that. Because even the little knowledge that I have is better than nothing, because nothing else is documented. Absolutely nothing else is documented. More David's Choice. I know I'd like to. It's just there's 24 hours in a day. And even right now, I'm firefighting, you know. I shouldn't be doing this job. One of the clerks should be doing this job. But nice embossing on the collar. I don't know if you can see it in the light here. I don't know. No, it's not gonna. It's too flat there. There's a beautiful embossing pattern on the collar, and they've done the I don't know what's called the makeup under her eyes. Very, very nice. Very delicate. Those of you who were on the stream a couple of weeks ago when we were looking at and identifying these prints, do you remember this one? This is going to sit in the store for a long time, I think. I don't see anybody really going to jump up and down about this one. It's a woman and some kind of pet. I think we ended up with a consensus that it was a dog, but I'm really not sure. This is Utamaro, and he may have been good at drawing people, but kudos-san again, carving. I don't see this as an interesting design, but somebody asking, why do some prints have the cardboard background and some don't? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Ah, I know. Okay. Packing. This is now finished. This is packed, ready to go in the shop. It's got the support cardboard, which is not acid-free. And then we're putting each print, we mount each print on an acid-free sheet with these little acid-free photo corners, acid-free, and the backing sheet, the backing board just to hold it. When someone's asking why some of them don't have that, these just aren't packed yet. I'm just going through, we've got 2 of each of these sets, so this is not finished. We'll do this later. Teiko-san, we'll do this later this afternoon. Just rather than do 2 of each right now, I'm just doing 1 of each so I get more variety in this little stream here. So the print is unglued. It just goes onto the acid-free paper with some very light photo corners. And when people get this home, if they want to frame it, it can stay on that acid-free paper and go into a frame with a mat quite safely with no problem at all. The boxes that we take them out of, those Showa era boxes, are grotesque, absolutely grotesque. Easily get mold, especially here in Japan. People put them on the shelf, don't open them up ever. So the lady with ermine, the show? It's interesting you mentioned that. So we should have thought of that the other day. Funny, man. Which came first? Now this would have been 1790s. So I guess Da Vinci was long first. Although I really rather doubt Utamoto had any chance to see that. As I said, I've gone generic. I've just called it woman and pet. That's it. I'm gonna hedge my bets. I didn't dare write woman and dog. Yeah, you're talking about the stream within the stream within the stream within the stream, right? So. What I should do is I should switch to the Twitch window, because in the Twitch window, it's all background. You can see there. How long is it? How long does it take to get things through? If I clap now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like a 6-second delay between what I do here and what I see when it comes back on the Twitch stream. One with dog. Will it go immediately or will it sit in the shop for years? Who knows? We'll see. Not mine to worry about. All I got to do is keep a good variety and that'll keep everybody happy. My concern is with the quality of the actual item. My concern is not with the art. My concern is with how well it's made, how well it's preserved, the physical object. That's what my job is. The actual picture content. Everybody has different ideas. That's not my concern. This is Maeda-san, the carver on this one, Maeda Kentaro. If you watched that video we did a while ago about the Hasui prints, that carver we saw there, the guy with the smoking. He's the guy who carved this one. It's actually an ad. This is product placement from 1790. It's an ad for some kind of rice crackers. It says Meibutsu, famous, I can't read that one, Senbei. It's famous brand rice crackers. Product placement with a famous geisha of the day. Product placement 1790. Yeah, you're asking about this. Maybe Utamoto did see a copy of that. It's quite possible. I'm not about to stick my neck out and say so, but yeah, it's quite possible. Maybe somebody should do an analysis of this. Maybe her hand position is exactly the same and it's too much of a coincidence. Maybe Utamoto did see an engraving of that painting. I should talk to Jed about that product placement idea. Now, what could we do in the Ukiyo-e Heroes series? Other than the fact that the whole series is advertising for Nintendo, I guess. I suppose. That's been one of our jokes all along. Whenever people are asking us, do you have trouble with Nintendo? We say no. And they should be paying us rather than suing us. So, yeah. It's also something interesting too. This is 2018 now. The people who did this back in 1790, what's the date? They got 1791. The researchers have pinned this one out. The people in 1791 could have had absolutely no idea. Can you imagine the people who designed this and made this print back in 1791? That one day in 2018, more than 200 years in the future, people would be looking at it, talking about it, streaming it live all over the planet at the same time. I mean, it just gets ridiculous, of course. Just inconceivable that they could have understood anything about what we're doing here. You know. Get your rice crackers, fresh rice crackers. Yeah, that would be fun. The old Meiji advertisements for Nintendo playing cards. There probably are such things, you know. That would be a real find. A woodblock print from the Meiji era advertising Nintendo cards. I'd buy that in a shot. Recommending new series for Jed here. That guy is busy right now. Wow, is he busy. I think he's maybe taken on a bit too many projects. It's a portrait. It's a professional lady of the Edo time. Her name was, what the label was, Kasen. Kasen, and the place she worked was the Ogiya, the house of the fan. In the Yoshiwara, of course. That's another little twist to all this stuff. You know, someone's going to buy this print, hang it up on their living room wall. And at its essence, it's an advertisement for a prostitute, you know. Must be getting near time to get the shop open, I think. Do a few more of these. Nice and classic. Onto the classic. Let's do a couple more. I know, I apologize for the lack of printmaking content on the stream here. You know, these are just, as I said, these are jobs that have got to be done. I'm sorry. I mentioned in yesterday's stream when I was finishing up the sewing on the Ukiyo-e Heroes books, which, by the way, are now done. The Ukiyo-e Heroes books out of here today on the way to Jed. I mentioned when I was talking about that yesterday that next week's streams will mostly be focused on carving, I think. I'm about to start a new carving project. The block is ready upstairs. Aoyama-san got it ready for me. And Kaori-san, our young designer, tells me that the design should be on my desk in a couple of days. And it's finally time for me to get busy on the next print for our print party room. And this is the design that we promised in last year's Kickstarter campaign. I'll be carving a version of the Great Wave in print party format. We've simplified it a little bit, not too dramatically. And that'll be my work through most of next week, carving that. So somebody's saying Great Wave Light. So there will be finally lots more carving coming soon. This is Koike-san carving. Not too many from Ito-san coming up today. It's funny. So yes, the Great Wave returns. Maybe we should call it the Not So Great Wave. I don't know. We'll see. And we're still not 100% sure about how successful print parties are going to be with the Great Wave, because it's absolutely essential that there's a gradation on the sky. And are we going to be able to guide people through a gradation? We think so. We've got lots of experience. We think we've got it worked out how to do it. But the other problem with doing a famous print in our print parties, you know, we do a smaller design that we've done ourselves. When people are finished, it looks nice and there's nothing to compare it with, so it looks okay. But if we do a famous design in the print party, people know what it's supposed to look like. And if their own print doesn't quite measure up, they're not going to be so happy. Is this Teiko-san maybe? Are we at that time already? 9:20. Okay, this is the last one then. That's Teiko-san on the stairs, getting the flag ready. Oh, it's Kawai-san. He's here Friday. Soka. Look at this. Beautiful carving on this one. Very nice. This is a 5+. Someone's asking, whatever became of the Hatsune Miku print? We've tried to put it in production. We got a batch printed by one of our carvers a couple of months ago. They're not good enough for sale. We're still having trouble with them. I know Chong-kun, the young Chinese boy who carved it, is fabulous carver, but he's still a carver with not so much experience. And some of the blocks have problems that make it really difficult to get a good stable edition out of. So we've got 20 or so prints pulled off them, but they're not really good enough yet to put into the market. I'm sorry. So the Hatsune Miku print is coming, but it's still slow going. Very nice carving on this here. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Can we get it close enough? I don't know. Koi-san, good morning, good morning. We're on the stream here. Come and say hello.
Hi. Oh, good morning.
You can't see, they're here. Camera's here. Come on in.
Flea market.
Flea market packing. So I'm supposed to be working real work, but this has got to be done before we open the shop. So. Huh? So this one's my design. I'm picking out the ones from Ito-san. We're gonna keep a collection. We're gonna have a little exhibition of Ito-san's work, I think. So. So I asked Cameron to take some pictures of these prints, put them on Instagram. I know we're having real trouble with the idea of how to put these flea market prints on the internet. You know, in the shop here, people look at it. Remember, these are not new prints, and they all have they might be a deep. Here, look at this one, this one, this one. There's a piece of chiri of bark in the paper here in two places. Can you see it? See the mark there above that flower? There's two marks there on the paper. So if this is in the shop, it's okay. People see it and they choose to buy it or not as they wish. But if I'm going to put these up in the website, everyone has to be carefully check, or description. Take a picture of the chiri, look it in the description. It just takes too long because there's only one. You know, with our normal website, we put up the Fox Moon print. It's okay. We just scan it once and we sell them because they're all going to look the same. But I can't do this for the flea market. It's so much work to put them on the internet. And we want to keep the prices reasonable, so it's turning out to be difficult for us to get the flea market section onto the website. I don't have an easy answer for that. How's the downstairs print room coming? I know the downstairs shop, it's coming very, very slowly. I know yesterday, Kawai-san and Aoyama-san did some work down there yesterday. 今日の予定は何下で
Aoyama-san, afternoon, he will be. So, print party at 1 o'clock, 2:30, 4:4.
Ah, so I'm busy. So, Paris, 4人でしょ
もし、わかんない。青山さんのプランが、アフタヌーンのプランがちょっとわかんないですけど。
What's the plan? どの仕事ですか
ちょっと全く、僕青山さん、聞かないとわかんないです。
4人パーティーですから2人、テイコさんと河合さんですか私とテイコさん、私と河合さん。Oh, look at this chat going on and on and on and on and on. You know, taking high-res photographs of this stuff, showing the hair, showing this, it all takes time. Our margin on these prints is going to be like 1,000 or 1,500 yen or something. We don't have enough margin on this stuff to be able to spend a whole bunch of time on them. If these were prints that were going to be $300, $400, $500, you can spend hours on each one getting it ready for the internet. But for prints that are going to sell for $50, our own purchase cost is in there, our packing cost is in there. We can't spend too much time. Suga-san desu ka? Not sure what you mean here. If you do get that print into production, you're going to undercut that way overpriced limited run one. Oh, the Hatsune Miku thing. Yeah. Don't want to talk about that stuff. Limited editions. Crap. Okay, I better wrap it up because he's trying to get the print party ready behind me here. And I am now officially in the way. Okay, here we go. Good, I got a bunch of work done. Thank you very much, guys. As I said, I'm sorry about the lack of printmaking content the last few days or so. And I'm not sure what I'll be doing tomorrow, Saturday, because I still don't have the design for the Great Wave ready. I might actually be doing this job again tomorrow morning. I'm sorry, not really quite sure. And then starting, as soon as I get that drawing from Kaori-san, I will be carving. Okay, there we are. Goodbye for now from Mokuhankan in Tokyo. Kawai-san, you going to say goodbye, sign off?
Goodbye.
See you later.
See you later.
I'll see you tomorrow, I hope, and we'll be back with more work as things go, day by day. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're gone? So, we always have the open mic here for a minute. The mic, by the way, is right there, clipped in front of me. Here's the cable. So, okay, I gotta get out of here. Thanks, guys. I now move over and click the stop. Actually, but again, I should put a picture up. Twitch seems to keep the last frame as the... So if I put this up, if I hold this, this might be the last frame. Stop streaming.